Hey Aaron, let's do another fantasy football free-for-all. Today we are going to do the AFC North, or as I like to say, the worst division in football.
Oh my god. Maybe. I won't automatically declare 100% definitely, but maybe.
The AFC South is pretty terrible too. But
yeah, the AFC South's really bad.
You know, at the same time, the Ravens are solid. The Brownies are on the rise. The Pittsburgh Steelers are like Tom Brady, good in 2012. And so let's start with the Cincinnati Bengals. When I look at the Cincinnati Bengals, I think this is a team that could be good in 3 years. I think this is not a team that is good now.
Would you say this is called the bourbon team? It needs to age a little bit.
Oh yes, that or it's expired in some aspects.
Oh man, so we need to refill. We need to replace.
Right.
The barrels are already expired.
So what my biggest complaint about the Cincinnati Bengals is one, their head coach Zach Taylor was a hire that, in my opinion, was just based on money. They wanted the cheapest guy in there. They knew they were in rebuilding. I don't think he's super talented. I think, honestly, they were better off with Marvin Lewis. And the other thing
real quick, just sorry to interrupt you. Marvin Lewis never won a playoff game.
He may not have won a playoff game, but that team was making steps every year. The drafts were solid. I mean, look, you've got Joe Mixon, you had Andy Dalton, AJ Green, John Ross. You made steps. I don't know that we're making huge steps. Yes, they drafted Joe Burrow, who has potential, but he also had one solid year in college. I mean, if we're talking about somebody who has like a proven track record, that's not Zach Taylor. And that's not Joe Burrow. So I think this is a team that we need to see to believe a little bit. And when I'm looking at Joe Burrow, he was an absolute stud last year. But he's not somebody anybody should be drafting except in the deepest of leagues or in two quarterback leagues.
Dynasty deep.
Yep.
16-man dynasty. And
he might be somebody, if he absolutely just shocks the world, get him on waivers. No one's drafting him except for LSU loyalists, and those aren't folks that you're going to be able to reason with anyway. So I'm not looking at Joe Burrow as even a top 25 quarterback right now.
No. Only value for keeper leagues, dynasty leagues, and pretty much 16-man leagues because he's like the backup to the backup. He'd be the backup of the QB2.
And unless you have 15 roster spots or bench spots, he shouldn't be on your roster. And not even to begin with. It's just not what you do.
Nope. I've learned from the past of all these rookie quarterbacks coming on board. I can't even think of the last time a rookie quarterback came on and just blew up and was like stud value fantasy.
I mean, Kyler Murray was probably the best rookie quarterback I can think of for fantasy value because of his legs. And even he wasn't that impressive.
No, not even that impressive. No, not at all. Which is why his value is a little bit better than last year. But, okay, so moving on.
When we talk about the Arizona Cardinals, I feel good about Kyler Murray and the long-term future of Kyler Murray. But that is,
his height scares me, but Doug Flutie did all right too. So.
Well, so did Drew Brees. So.
Well, Drew Brees not a running mobile quarterback.
Russell Wilson.
Okay, there's one.
Yep. Slap down.
Okay. I'll take it.
So just to finish out that quarterback room, we've got Ryan Finley, Brandon Allen, Jacob Dolagala. None of those guys are even considerations. If there is an injury to Joe Burrow, you're looking elsewhere. These aren't folks that you're looking at. So now
to running back.
Okay,
Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is not been at practice due to migraines. Should we be concerned or no?
I think it's not a concern. I think.
Do you remember Percy Harvin?
I do remember Minnesota Vikings great Percy Harvin.
I was gonna say Mr. Vikings himself.
Yeah,
and that's all he struggled with his whole entire career, and it actually kept him out of games.
Well, yes. So it's a serious concern in the long term, but it's not a concern for me if it's an occasional thing. This isn't. We haven't had him miss any games. This is all about track record. And Joe Mixon has been reliable. He has been on the field. He has been performing, and he has been growing year over year.
This is also his contract year too.
Yes, and I think he is going to be one of the better football running backs in this league for quite some time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, top 10 easily.
Yep.
First round pick, definitely.
I don't know if he's a first round pick in my book. I think
he's your RB1 though.
Yeah, he's an RB1, but I think he's somebody that I would be taking in early second round. And I think he'll be there.
I agree if you have the top 6, 7 picks. If I'm pick 10, 11 and he's still on the board, I'm taking him.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mock you for it, but I think that if you've got a Travis Kelce, if you've got a Travis Kelce available or something else, I think I would be looking there over Joe Mixon. I know that you're looking cool, like you would
take a tight end over Joe Mixon in the first round.
I think I might, yeah, because I think my question is if we're at the end, you're gonna get both guys. If you're 12. You're gonna snake it, and so you'll get both guys. But
hoping the guy behind you doesn't just screw you over.
I mean, if I'm 12, in a 12-man league, then it doesn't matter. If I'm 11, it starts to be like, okay, like what is the roster construction? What do these other folks look like? But right. Joe Mixon has this backfield. I think he's going to be more and more involved in the passing game. And I think that he is a player that I am going to have some shares of. It's not going to be one of those things. If he is in the second tier of starting running backs to me. It is.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah. He's RB1, but he's in that second tier underneath the top 5.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
And so
do you feel that Joe Mixon is the number 2 option in the passing game?
Behind Giovanni Bernard?
No. Behind A.J. Green.
A.J. Green, I don't think, is ever going to play another snap.
Oh, he's healthy. He's ready to go.
He was out of practice last week. He's been in and out.
He doesn't even have a Q on anybody's depth chart.
I honestly don't know if he'll ever play again.
Okay, so assuming that he does, and he's the wide receiver number 1.
No. Tyler Boyd is going to get
number 2, and then
looks.
Joe Mixon's the 3rd look.
I think he might even be the 4th look in the passing game. Because I think John Ross last year kind of demonstrated his value, and he really, he showed that burst and that speed in the games that he was on the field. He does have some injury concerns, but he is fast.
Yeah, I guess it also depends upon how Joe Burrow transitions into the NFL league, because if he gets rushed a crap ton of times and he panics, he might be checking down a lot. Flat, because Mixon will be just sitting there waiting the whole entire time, and he'll easily get 90, 100 receptions if that's the game plan.
Well, CJ Uzoma is also there, and Drew Sample at tight end. I think that those guys might be the
hot routes?
Yep. That's what I think.
Okay.
I think they're going to have to do some of that, because I just think that Joe Burrow is going to have a lot of panic in the pocket and have to get rid of the ball fast. The other thing that I think people forget is, everybody loves the SEC for the quality of play that occurs there. But it is still like light years different than the NFL. And so these folks who think that somebody that is in the SEC can jump automatically to the pros, and it's not going to be this learning curve, they're absolutely full of crap. So don't buy into that hype. Don't buy into the Tebow mania stuff, like where people are just hyping the SEC. These players need years of training to get where they need to go.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay, so, I mean, besides Joe Mixon, there's Giovanni Bernard, which there's no problem there. I am not worried about a split backfield. It's Joe Mixon's position to take over.
I honestly am a little bit confused why Giovanni Bernard's still in Cincinnati. I think that he is a good enough back that he's on the tail end of his career. But I think he's a good enough back where he could have gone to Washington or he could have gone to some of these other places and asked to be traded and actually started.
You think he's a starting workhorse running back?
I think we're at the tail of
yeah,
that.
I was gonna say he was. I think his resume just like his history just showed that I don't think he can do it, and so that's why he's a good backup because he's a pace setter. He's a change of pace back.
I don't know. When he was with Jeremy
I don't know.
Hill,
I mean, like even when Jeremy Hill was there, he was the third back.
He was the second back to Jeremy.
Or second back. I'm sorry. Joe Mixon wasn't there yet. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Giovanni Bernard, Jeremy Hill, 1-2 punch. I remember that year.
Yep.
Okay, that's right.
The other folks in the backfield, we've got Trayvon Williams, Samanje Pirine, and Jacob Patrick. Samanje Pirine's the only one with any like substantive experience from when he was in Washington. We're not worried about these folks.
No.
No. You know, if you're taking Joe Mixon with a high pick, I think it's worth a flyer to lock up Bernard just in the off chance there's an injury. But
like way late.
Way late. Way
13th round or later.
Yes.
Maybe even later, like 15. I don't know.
I think that there's usually a run on these backup running backs in like the 10th, 12th round. But I don't think he'll be there much after that. But I think he's worth, especially in a COVID year, the younger guys I think I have a little bit more concern about because they're still under their rookie contracts. They still view this as kind of a little bit of a fluff thing. And so I do think these younger running backs, it might be worth looking at their handcuffs a little bit more than you normally would.
Yeah, and I definitely would look at handcuffs that actually have a higher percentage of being a starter due to the fact of A, raw talent, B, whenever their starting running back is actually hurt, and they've shown in the past, like your Alexander Madison or your Latavius Murray.
Yes.
Or even Kareem Hunt. Those guys are all...
Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
I think there's
Kareem
a shot Kareem Hunt is not on the Browns roster. We'll hop into that. But I've got some big thoughts on Kareem Hunt.
Yes, definitely. Oh, yeah, we will talk about that later. But yeah, I would not go Giovanni Bernard unless all those guys that have the potential to actually be the starter are gone.
Yes,
there's no reason to even look at Giovanni Bernard until those guys are gone.
Defense, anyway, you're not touching this defense. You're not going within 100 feet
of
this
heck
defense.
No, I'm not even going, no. A 50-foot pole's not even long enough to hit this defense. There's no way. No way.
They're just, it's one of those things, they're making progress. Carlos Dunlap's pretty decent. Geno Atkins. Some of these folks are good players, but that doesn't change the fact that this defense hasn't gelled yet. We need to see it, and they're not a defense you draft anyway.
That's right.
So, I think that's where we will wrap up the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bungles.
The Bungles.
Yep. The Nasty Natty.
Who dey?
Yep.
Yeah, TJ Houshmandzadeh, you destroyed the whole entire franchise by stepping on the towel. You don't mess around with the towel. That's what happens. Seriously.
Oh.
You've been warned. The whole organization has been warned, and now look what happened.
Oh, the stupid towels. All right. Well, thank you all for watching this edition of Fantasy Football Free For All with Aaron and Will. We will be back with the next in the AFC North.
Stay classy.
Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Football Free For All with Aaron and Will. Aaron's taking a little nap because he is down on the Browns this year. I am personally a big fan of the Cleveland Browns this year. I think they have taken good steps in the right direction, and the reason that we've got a sleepover here is because the Browns are actually a sleeper team. They are coming.
Okay, hold on. We keep talking.
It's
good lullaby music for me.
They are coming for you. Kevin Stefanski.
I heard this
head
last
coach.
year. I heard this last year.
Yeah, well, they had essentially a junior varsity head coach. Now they have Kevin Stefanski from
They keep
Minnesota
firing
Vikings.
their head coach every year.
They're making positive changes. This is the most talented
They're
team.
positively firing their head coaches every year.
This is the most talented team they've had in a long time. So let's hop into this. Quarterback, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is a QB2. He is not a QB1. But you have to remember that Baker Mayfield had a rough last year because that team was in utter turmoil. This is not somebody who is missing, is regressing. He's not Sam Darnold. He's not seeing ghosts. This is somebody who needs solid coaching. And that's what we're going to see this year with Kevin Stefanski.
I think all the TV commercials that he was in got to his head.
I mean, I think it's hard to be a sophomore quarterback.
Well, it reminds me of RG3. RG3 does a Subway commercial and then completely gets destroyed.
I think that is more of a coincidence, but that's okay. But I think that, Baker Mayfield is going to be able to have a bounce back year. I think that there's a shot he finishes in the top 12 of quarterbacks this year because he has so many weapons. And I would probably lock it in.
Wait a minute. Time out. That was a bold statement. Top 12?
Top 12.
Where did he finish last year? Hold on.
Last year, this is a game. Every year is different, man.
Yeah, but what did he do? Drink like smart juice or something? That he's
No, he has a head
wait a minute.
coach. They have a coaching system in there. They've got the wide receivers are healthy. The running backs are healthy. They're making huge leaps here. They've got an experienced quarterback behind him so that he can learn from a similar pocket passer style quarterback. In Case Keenum, they are going to be much better. I think people sleep on Cleveland because it is Cleveland, but it's one of those things. I think that they could make the playoffs this year.
Oh man, there's another bold statement. Oh my gosh. If you guys haven't figured it out, I'm from Pittsburgh, and I bleed black and gold. Everybody else out there, Steeler Nation, the biggest fan following in the whole entire country. No one knows if it's a home or away game because we're just everywhere. We literally are everywhere.
Oh, that's so gross.
You're disgusted by it because we are everywhere.
It's because
every single stadium.
I can think of few franchises that have worse fans than the Pittsburgh Steelers. So
worse fans, Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm not saying apathetic fans. I'm saying annoying. But that's okay. All right.
So you could go to like the Saints. You can't even hear anything in there, and they know that, so they just yell just to confuse the other team's quarterback.
I mean,
Kansas City's got a problem with their stinking stadium as well, and same with
I'm
Seattle.
saying
There's like a lot of stadiums that are built wrong.
I'm not saying in the stadium. I'm saying in the world. The Pittsburgh Steelers fans are just dreadful. But let's get on to the running backs. We have two studs here. We have Nick Chubb and we have Kareem Hunt.
Yes.
Both of these guys are RB1s in potential.
Are we in the forgiving phase? Like, do we feel that like Kareem Hunt is not who the Kareem Hunt of the past was? For some reason, that video, I can't get that video out of my head still.
So the Kareem Hunt domestic violence incident is disturbing. The fact that he's had a couple of pops of police contact isn't great. But you also have to remember, like, Joe Mixon had those same concerns. Tyreek Hill has those same concerns. And so when we're evaluating them as players, we do have to take a step back from some of the terrible things they've done and look at them as players that are on the field, rather than looking at some of the personal faults.
Oh, no, yeah, I get that. But the funny thing is, I don't understand why the league can forgive, or any team can forgive what he did, but yet, when you look at the Ray Rice video in the elevator, I think that they're different situations, and I also think that what we've got is he lost his contract, he was out for a year, like, there's a lot else that happened there. I don't think it was a
a quick forgive. Now, this is all not on the field. So on the field, Kareem Hunt is a team player. Kareem Hunt is a dynamic playmaker. And Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are the most talented 1-2 punch in the league.
Right, but it's funny how he goes to the Browns, the desperate team that needs some kind of facelift.
They had Nick Chubb already.
Well, then what does that say about Nick Chubb if they're picking up some guy who should never be?
They're saying we got a steal at $1 million a year for Kareem Hunt. That's what they're saying. Kareem Hunt.
Again, it's the organization that will take anybody. I'm surprised that
I think you need second chances. And I
agree with that statement.
And we don't know.
I can't get that video in my head.
We don't know what happened behind the scenes for Kareem Hunt. We don't know if he actually took the incident serious and made developments. There are also there's more to those videos than we know. And so I want to stay on the football field rather than going down this rabbit hole. But because when I'm looking at these players, I am looking at a running back 1 and a running back 1B. It's a 1A and a 1B.
I agree. I can agree with that.
And Nick Chubb is a very talented third-year back now. He currently is in the concussion protocol, which is a little bit concerning. But he is going to, I think he'll be all right. They revamped this offensive line in the offseason. They added some depth at tight end for blocking. They've got their healthy weapons. I think Nick Chubb is a first or second round pick. He is a little bit further down in the group of running back 1s, in my opinion. He's ahead of Leonard Fournette or any of those folks, but I think in the mid-second round is where I feel most comfortable taking him. Just because there is a little bit of risk with Nick Chubb because of Kareem Hunt.
If I'm in the later half of the first round and Nick Chubb's on the board, no, I'm not touching him at all. He's not my RB1 at all. He would be my RB2 because of the fact of what you said, that Kareem Hunt and him it's going to be a split back committee. It's going to be your yin and yang, your 1-2 punch, your 1A, 1B. I 100% agree with all that stuff, which actually makes Kareem Hunt's value way higher of where he's being drafted as opposed to where Nick Chubb is. Because I feel if you draft Nick Chubb and you expect him RB1 numbers, you're going to be disappointed, or it's going to be a 5 or 6 game RB1 value, and that's it.
See, I think it depends also if you're PPR or non-PPR. If you are PPR, Nick Chubb, it falls for me quite aggressively because it's not...
Oh, I 100% agree with that. There's no way Baker's checking down. There's no way.
Right. Yeah. So we need to make sure that we've got clear expectations there. If it's non-PPR though, Nick Chubb rises significantly. He is a first round talent if it's non-PPR. Now, Kareem Hunt is going later in the draft, but he's going in the early 6th round. I think that is huge value in early 6th round.
So something interesting, which I don't mean to contradict, but this just went through my desk. In 10 games last year in half PPR formats, Nick Chubb was ranked the number 4 running back on a points per game basis.
That is also half PPR.
Right. The league that I'm in for PPR, it's not a full point. It's a 0.5 point. So even in 0.5 points per catch, I thought, and I was agreeing with you until I saw this stat, and I'm like, wait a minute.
You also have to remember that Kareem Hunt's first year back was last year, and he was suspended through week 8 of last year. So these numbers are not exactly a perfect, we can't say that it's a perfect correlation here because you have to remember the games played by Kareem Hunt.
Right.
And so Nick Chubb for the first 8 games was a solo backfield. Right. They had Dontrell Hilliard.
Yeah. And then now it's saying that as soon as Kareem Hunt came back, he went from number 4 to 18th.
Yeah.
So it's just like you could just see right there that the running back by committee is just obviously
I think you
there.
Just proved my point.
And so
I'm brushing the shoulder off because you proved my point here.
No, I know, but it went
made me sound clairvoyant here. And
so then what we should say is that Nick Chubb's, well, it just makes too much sense that Nick Chubb's value obviously increases if Kareem Hunt was not there. So then, is Kareem Hunt injury prone? The answer is no. Is there
a trade partner before the trade deadline? Maybe. That is my guess. My guess is we are going to see a significant injury to a running back or a complication from COVID, and Nick Chubb is going to get a solo backfield. I think that they can get so much value by trading Kareem Hunt. And it's not like this is a Super Bowl window right now for Kevin Stefanski in his first year as head coach. If I was them, I would say, okay, I've got this huge talent. Can I get a first or second round pick for Kareem Hunt? I think you could.
Oh, you're trying to get rid of Kareem Hunt?
Yes.
There goes. Oh man, I keep the Georgia running back.
All right. So the other folks in the backfield, they do have some talent here. Dontrell Hilliard showed flashes last year of being able to carry the ball, and they brought over one of the best fullbacks in Andy Janovich.
Okay, so you think the Baker Mayfield is going to be in the top 12 due to some hopeful thinking that last year's on paper stacked team.
If you have no coaching, If you have no coaching, these players aren't coaches. They essentially went out there and played high school football, and they still won some games.
Okay, I think Baker Mayfield is going to be like a QB 15. I think that's where he belongs.
So what's the wager? What's the wager so I can lock it in?
Well, okay, so the wager is you're saying that he's going to be a top 12 quarterback. I say he's going to be behind the top 12 quarterback. There's no way at all. So lock it in. We're locking this in.
Yep.
Lock it in. Okay, let's play the game with OBJ. He's going 14th overall on wide receivers. He's going around third round overall in picks. 29th overall. Okay, so a guy's around him. Okay, so would you take Amari Cooper or OBJ?
OBJ.
Oh.
Why would I want to get into a wide receiver group that has CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup? I mean, come on. There's not even a chance.
CeeDee Lamb hasn't established himself. We have no idea what he can do. Yes, he's a stud coming out of college. I understand that. But he would be like the sleeper that comes up that it's just like rookie wide receiver.
I think that Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb are two of the wide receivers. If I could make sure that I had them in every draft, those are the two wide receivers I'm going. Amari Cooper has not... Later. Not late. But I'm saying they're both... I think they sap almost all of the value of Amari Cooper.
I think Landry takes the value of OBJ down, which is why I'm not having him on this high horse at wide receiver, stellar wide receiver 1. Okay, Adam Thielen, your good old buddy over there in Minnesota.
OBJ, not even close.
Oh my gosh, the Cleveland organization just scares me. DJ Moore or OBJ?
Now that one's getting closer. I want to see, normally what I would want in a standard year is to look at the preseason performance of Teddy Bridgewater.
We can't do that this year, right?
I know. That's the issue. And so I think I'm going OBJ over DJ Moore just because I can't see what's happening with Teddy Two Gloves.
I still need to wake up. Talking about the Brownies are just making me so tired. I guess that's the
ones. All right. Here are my wide receivers that are ahead of OBJ. Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams.
Well, the obvious.
Tyreek Hill, Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, and that's it.
Godwin?
Yep. I honestly think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is the best team from 2012. It is not the team today.
Now, Jarvis Landry is the number 2 wide receiver over there in the Brownies, and to be honest, so in the 6th round, if you're looking for your wide receiver 2, it's a value pick. I don't have a problem with that.
Yep, I agree. I think he's a solid wide receiver. I think I would be drafting him though as a wide receiver 3 with wide receiver 2 upside. And so I would be wanting. I really, really, really want my running back core solid before that happens.
Do you understand? Do you understand? Baker Mayfield threw to 2 1,000-yard receivers.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So he and he had more targets,
is this
more catches?
Are you making my point for me? Is that what I'm hearing? Am I hearing that I am correct?
No, we're only talking. We're only talking about the value of Jarvis Landry.
The day you have all been waiting for. Will is right. Baker Mayfield's going to be a stud. The Browns are going to the playoffs.
This is 19.
And
this is
the
2019
Steelers.
talk.
The Steelers are going to be 8-8. That's what I'm hearing.
Not again. We're not doing 8-8 again.
Because Ben Roethlisberger is old and he will not be able to make it through the season.
He didn't have Tommy John surgery, so there's hope.
Yeah, there's about as much hope as Kevin Stefanski has for being a fourth-year head coach. So, my tight end sleeper though is Mike Gesicki. I think Mike Gesicki is who I will be going with and targeting in the 11th round over Austin Hooper. But if Gesicki's gone, Austin Hooper isn't a bad pickup. I think that he has the potential to be a tight end 1, and I think he could be a tight end 1 with significant upside. All right. So now let's finish up the Browns with special teams and defense. I'm not really interested. Myles Garrett is a stud.
Oh yeah, especially when he took his helmet off and smacked freaking Rudolph in the face.
Well, that ends a
hold on. I need to get back to sleep.
A rather contentious fantasy football free-for-all. Thank you, and we will see you next time.
Dude, I just had a craziest dream. I dreamed about you claimed that the Brownies are going to make the playoffs.